Welcome to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast, where every week Kirsten and Jeannie dive into the essential topics to fuel your business growth. From copywriting to course creation, mindset to video marketing, they've got you covered. Tune in for expert guest interviews on all things marketing and business, and learn how to work on your business, not just in it. So, get ready to unlock your business potential and take it to the next level.
I'd love to welcome Delisa Abraham of Faith and Sparkles World. She's an empowered leadership coach for parents, educators, and entrepreneurs. And she's going to talk to us about creating and cultivating space. So thank you, Delisa, for being here. We're thrilled to have you.
Thank you both for having me on. I am excited. And to everyone that is listening, I hope you enjoy this episode. And you know what? Stay tuned because there's so much value in it.
Absolutely. And Delisa, I think you have had such an amazing journey because you actually started in the military when you were like 19 years old. Tell us a little bit about that and how that led you into leadership and now into this amazing journey with helping others create that creative space that we need to fulfill our dreams and our goals.
Oh, wow. Get your popcorn ready, get your teas out and ready for just a whole movie to be played right before your eyes. So I started when I was 19 in the military. It actually took me an entire year to go through the whole process and to be aligned mentally to say, is this what I wanted to do? And I'll tell you guys a secret. When I first started, I did it, because I wanted to pay for my tuitions. I started off in the reserves. And secondly, I was like, I'm only going to be here for like a summer. What can I learn? What can I do here? So that actually led me. So I go in and then all of a sudden it's like, hey, the group is small. We see you as a leader. Someone saw something in me as a leader to lead a team, which I never saw for myself. And that began the journey of leadership. And then, of course, you fast forward, and I actually started teaching leadership, teaching basic training, all of those things.
And you ended up not spending a summer in the military, but like 14 years. Is that right?
Almost 14 years. Yes. That's what happens sometimes.
Yes. But if you think about it, I wonder if you had just gone straight to college, how long it would have taken you to figure out that leadership was your path. By going into the military and someone else seeing that in you and delegating that leadership role on you at a very young age had a huge impact on your journey. So sometimes I think we just don't know where the roads are going to lead.
I agree 100%. As I mentioned, when I first started, I was going into school at the university and I wanted to study humanities. That was my thing. That is what I was going for. I did not see leadership. And so when it was thrust about me, I just went with the flow because I was like, well, I need to be here for a summer. Right. And then it was like that bug was hooked. And I started walking in that purpose because I felt so aligned. Not only felt, but I just knew this is the path that I needed to take.
And you're going to share some tips with everyone. And these are things that you actually learned through your process in the military of becoming a leader. You have used this in your own home, and you've educated a lot of nonprofits as well as entrepreneurs on how to bring this into their lives so that they have that creative space. So we're excited to get started. Tell us about your first, the why.
The why is so important. I started off my why because I knew nothing about leadership. I actually didn't even know any of the great thought leaders or what I didn't know. But as I go in there and now I am assigned this position in this role and I go into prayer, some people now call it meditation, whatever you call it. I went into prayer to say, how can I lead a team? I'm not even qualified. So all of those things came up, the doubts, the fears, all of it. And as I continued on in prayer, all of a sudden, not only am I starting to be aligned with myself, but my colleagues, my peers, young men, they started handing me books saying, here's a book, 21 Irrefutable Laws on Leadership. Here's a book on mindset. Here is all of these things. So they started to support my journey. And it started off with me releasing that fear, releasing those doubts and saying, how can I actually lead a team? I don't even know anything about it. So that was the first step that I had to take in being able to create that space. And as I started to read and learn and go deeper into prayer, deeper into meditation, then a whole world opened up for me within myself to recognize what do I need to do to ensure that not only am I aligned, because I started off selfishly thinking, what can I do for me to help me? Then now it extended into others. What do I need to do? How can I support my team so that they too are operating at their fullest potential and wanting to work together with me so we can have that desired outcome and results?
And this is a young age. How can I lead a team instead of what often we think is, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I've not been taught how to do that. I can't. So I love that there must have been something that, like you said, that aligned, that made sense, that connected with you and with leadership right from the beginning.
Absolutely, 100%. And it's in high school. I was doing a lot of leadership roles, but I didn't see it as leadership roles. I just thought I was just participating in the after school activities or in the morning activities or participating in my community and helping to organize events and being like project manager, being project lead on these things. So those things were, I saw it at that time. I was very naive, as most of us are as teenagers, thinking this is a means to an end. I'm doing this so that I can get into the university and or I can have money so I can pay for my tuition, I could pay for my college. And so when I went into the military at that time, I started off as a reservist. As I said, it was really just go for a summer, right? And it was like, okay, I got to pay for my first year of tuition into the humanities, which I was like, how do humanities and the military, how does that mesh together and align?
It's interesting that you didn't realize that you were actually in some leadership roles as a teenager. So it is interesting when sometimes we don't see things. And like you said, that person in the military saw something in you that you didn't see in yourself. Let's talk to our audience about some practical things that they can do to improve their environment and help them become great leaders and in alignment with their goals and bring out their creativity. Because I know you have some great tips.
When we want to start off to create the environment, to create the space within our home, within ourselves, we need to speak life-giving words. Now, does that mean you're walking around all day saying, this space is a space of creativity, this space is a space of life? Well, we don't have the 24 hours of the day to do that. We have lives, we have work, we have businesses, we have all of these things. But what we can do is put on that music. What we can do is put on that empowerment, encouraging, inspired. Inspired means to be in spirit music or words that is going to raise the environment, to bring in all the things that we need that are creative, that are positive, that are good, that is true, and all things that do not belong there, like the doubt, the fear, the hopelessness. It removes it. Now, as your environment starts to vibrate at a higher frequency, starts to transform, starts to become empowered, you yourself start to align with that vibration, with that message, with that optimism and hope and creativity. And then all of a sudden, instead of being inspired, inspired means to be in spirit, all of a sudden your spirit wakes up. And your spirit within yourself, within your heart, now is telling you your purpose. And that alignment between the body, the mindset, your mind, and your very spirit within your heart starts communicating effortlessly, beautifully in that rhythm of life. And then you continue the process until you are strong enough.
First thing that I thought about, a lot of times we go to conferences. Jeannie and I love to go to at least really one awesome, marketing conference or business conference a year. And your goal is always education and learning. But there is just something about walking into a room, of 1,000 entrepreneurs and everyone's just buzzing with excitement and everyone's there to learn and everyone's sharing ideas and connecting with each other. And I was thinking, wow, if my home could feel like that every day, how amazing would that be? And that's what you're talking about, finding a way to start making our homes feel more energetic in that vibration of where we know we need to be.
100%. And I have been to conferences where you are so energized and pumped. First of all, it's just the excitement, the pre-excitement, getting the emails, knowing that, man, I'm going to hear something. I want to see this speaker or that speaker. And all of a sudden, everyone comes together in this harmonious space. And it is like, wow, we're in sync. Our purpose is aligned, even though everyone has their own individual goals and reasons, but the purpose is aligned. And the leader, the head that's leading these conferences that has it on, they've created this space. Remember, they're holding a vibration even before you enter into that room. Their spirit is just aligned with yours. Some people don't recognize that. And then that excitement, that hope, that optimism, all of those things you take with you into these conferences, and then they too start connecting with you. Why? Because you're all in the same spirit. You're all here saying, our purpose is going to be fulfilled. I'm here to provide the value. We're here to take things to the next level. And then all of a sudden, now you're filled with creativity. Now you're filled with peace. And then you leave. And sometimes people have that conference high that they call it that conference high for sometimes 2, 3, 7 days afterwards, where they're applying the tools, the techniques, the strategies. They're connecting and networking. Why? Because they have that vibrationary force, the in spirit force that is still connected to them, and they can move effortlessly through it. And so you take that, you apply it to your work.
Yes. love the music. And Jeannie actually has a beautiful voice and loves to sing, so she is more likely to have music on than I am. But I do find that music, even if it's just in the background, definitely changes the energy. And I know Jeannie loves to light a candle. She feels like that just brings an energy for her space. Are there any other little tips for people who can increase the vibration of their space or make themselves feel more in line with what they want to accomplish that day in their space?
Absolutely. And it starts off with, as I mentioned, speaking life-giving words. Maybe having the background music isn't enough, or you're like, and sometimes this happens, and I'm going to be honest here. When you're first starting off, because you're hearing these high frequency songs or singing, your body can be tired. All of a sudden you're tired, or you're like, you feel exhausted. The reason why you're feeling exhausted is because you have been operating for so long in this like self-will, like it's all been self. And so you're just pushing yourself. And so now we hear about burnout. When we take the opportunity to rest, and we put on these high frequency music, and I'll get to other things that we can do, or high frequency affirmations or words or prayers or scriptures that are there to encourage and empower us, our body will say, I need rest. We may not hear it, but then all of a sudden we feel tired. And so when we go and we lay down and rest for the 30 minutes or 20 minutes, we wake up rejuvenated, refreshed, revived. And it's like, whoa, I know what I have to do. The answers just start automatically appearing. And so, yes, there is the music. Yes, we can sing, but having it on these life-giving words in your home, either in the morning, do it in your workspace, do it at night before you go to bed. All of these things will help you. It will start aligning you together.
After everyone gets their environment up and running, what do we want to do next in order to create this amazing creative space where we can start to really make our dreams come true and do it? Like, I love what you said, like do it with ease, right? Do it in a very easy way. You're pulling things to you rather than always trying to push that boulder up the hill.
As you start shifting the environment, your mind starts to shift as well. What you were thinking before, perhaps it was doubt, perhaps it was fear, perhaps it was that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. These things will come to the forefront. But now that the environment is saturating your very being with life-giving words, with just saying creativity, when those things come to the forefront, you will start to release it. Now, for some, they may need a coach. For some, they may need additional support, but you would understand what it is that you would need because the answers will come to you. Like, I need more help in this area. Perhaps I can do this myself. Perhaps I just need a coach for a bit, or maybe some people need a therapist to help to release any of those things that they need to release, because there's some trauma that are very deep. We're holding on for years and years and years. And as we start doing the work, our mindset starts to shift as well. And so we become aligned and our creativity starts to bloom. It truly blooms because our vision, not just our visual eyes, but the eyesight in the mind, our spirit eyes, they start to come through, and the path becomes clear, and we're not dim, we're not foggy. Instead, we become more vibrant. So the mindset is super important, and that is the next step. So they all work hand in hand. And as you work, I want to be very clear, if you need extra support, it is there for you. It is not about doing anything by yourself. There's work that we do, yes, to create the space and to have the environment, but if we need additional help and support, it is also there to help us on that journey.
It's so fascinating because I'm going to relate this back to the conference again, because I know sometimes you can go to a conference and maybe you've had a challenge in your business or something you've been mulling around in your head, and then you get to that conference and maybe that topic is not even no one even talked about the topic that you've been struggling with, but all of a sudden it's like a lightning bolt and you get the answer to it. You're like, oh, I know exactly what we need to do to solve this problem, right? Even though it wasn't even on the agenda of the conference. So I think it does have to it has to do with being in that creative space and being in that higher vibration. And if you think about it, as entrepreneurs, I don't care if you own a moving company, you own a law firm, you're a coach or a consultant, an interior designer, it doesn't matter your business. We all solve problems for our clients, right? We are all here to help and to serve our clients. And the more creative we are, the better the answers are, the better the solutions are, the better we implement those solutions. And so it's very powerful to think about being in that vibration of creativity almost on demand, right? Like you're talking about creating your environment every day so that you're in that vibration of creativity. And that's going to allow us to make more money, to serve our clients better, and to be happier in our lives as a whole.
This is proven for myself in my home with my daughter. So these things that I've applied to myself, I've applied to my workspace. I even applied to our company now at Faith and Sparkles World. But I applied it to my home with my daughter. And you're talking about having that clarity and that vision. Now, the person that's hosting the conference, the seminar, the workshop, they're hosting it, but they don't know your individual struggle or need. They just know that you're here, you're providing value. You need to be in that creative space. You need to be aligned with like-minded people to help you. Yes? In the home, for example, I used that creating the space with my daughter before she was born, when she was born. Now, I don't know what her purpose is going to be, and I can't say this is when you grow up, this is what you're going to do. I don't know that. But what I did do was understand the energetics of the home, understand that creativity and that space, understanding what it means to be in spirit and how to be aligned, because I was doing it for so many years. It's incredible to me, like so many years. So when she came out, she already knew what she wanted to be. I saw her moving different, being different. People would look at her and they would say, she is different. The doctor, she came out, this one is different. They will just see that glow. It's like similar to you. When you're starting to shift and you're in that space of creativity, people will say, wow, you look different. You look bright. You're like, what has changed? Man, they just see it, they sense it, they smell it off of you, so to speak. And so I saw that with my own daughter. And then that led her at 3 years old to say, Mom, this is my message that I need to share. I want to write this book and I want to share it. I want to help so many other people. And then because of that, now I am saying, okay, well, and this is me being a leader in my home, saying, all right, let's see where this goes. And now we have Faith in Sparkles World, the Faith in Sparkles World that it is. And that has been transformative. It's showing that what I am teaching, what I am coaching others to do can be applied anywhere and everywhere, and it will work every time, as long as you're doing the work and you're willing to transform yourself.
I think it's so amazing because you learned all of these lessons in your life. And then, like you said, you implemented them in your household. And your daughter is such a caring person. And just they're 3 years old to say, I want to write a book. And she's written several books now. Yes. And helping other children, and she speaks publicly. All of our parents did the best they could do, right? But just imagine like that environment where she doesn't have to face fear. She doesn't have to be in a low vibrational place. She's been taught to have a great environment and to realize her dreams. And like you said, we don't know where this will go because not everything we do as an entrepreneur or as a parent is going to turn out a certain way. All we can do is do the work, and then it's going to take a life of its own, so to speak. So I think it's just amazing that you're nurturing her in that way and letting her like build her own dreams.
Absolutely. And one of the things, and you touched on it, and I really want to expand a bit more. You were talking about she's in such a high vibrationary space. And this is for all of us, right? We could be in a high vibrationary space, but let me tell you something. When fear, doubt, distress, all of those things come knocking at your door, send your faith to the door to answer. Nobody will be there. That's just it. That's how it is. And they will not be there. That fear, that doubt, all those things, they will not be there because you are in that space. You are in spirit. You are operating from your place of creativity, your space that you have created, what it is that you need and you want for the season of your life. And it's ever evolving and transforming. It is never stagnant. Just so people are aware of that, you stay in that frequency. It helps you. It guides you. It supports you. And when you're not operating from that frequency, you will know something is off. Something is off. Now, does that mean you're driving in your car and you're listening to high vibrationary music? No, you don't have to do that because you're carrying it with you. You have all the things in you, within you, aligned to support you and your team.
I love that. One of my favorite sayings I used to say quite often, and I haven't said it much lately, but faith and fear cannot occupy your mind at the same time. They're the opposite. So you're either walking in faith and building your business in faith, or you're walking in fear and you're building your business in fear. It's not, you can't have a little of each. It's generally it's one or the other, actually.
Yes, 100%.
I just wanted to swing back to, you talked about high frequency words and music to start to listen to get yourself in that space. Do you have a resource or a reference, or if somebody wanted to do that, or is it individual?
For each person is individual, but we can start off, and I'm just going to give like a free tip here with, you could just go right on YouTube if you don't even know where to start, and perhaps type in one of the top speakers that aligns with you and their message, and just to start off, because what happens is, and we all see this, right? We put in one thing and then all of a sudden within minutes, all the other things start coming out. So that's just one way that you can start. The other part is you can have a coach that's supporting you, especially with your business. And a lot of people have coaches, especially with the entrepreneur, to like, I got to scale, I got to do this. And those are great, but you also need someone to ensure that you're being aligned, because you're focusing on one area and neglecting another. And it doesn't mean that you're not going to get the results that you need. You will, but then burnout can take that space. Stress and anxiety could take that space after you've reached a certain way. So ensuring that you're operating from that high space and you have that energy and you're revitalized really helps you to be aligned continuously through that process. And one of the other things that we always do, I always have a webinar every month. This is evergreen. It is organic. It is one of those things. It's live. It's not something that I record and you rewatch. It is always going to be live, where I share with you a new topic on how you can create that space and how that space can transform your business, your life, your home.
Delisa, this has been absolutely amazing. Oh my gosh. So I know when I met you a while back, we had a conversation. I told Jeannie I was so excited to have you here. So we are just incredibly grateful for this conversation. And I'm already vibrating at a higher frequency than I was before this interview.
This has been amazing. Thank you so much, Delisa. And people can find out more about you and your business at faithandsparklesworld.com. And we are excited to see your new webinars as they come out. And we'd love to have you back again another day.
Thank you. Thank you all so very much.
Thanks for listening to the Six Figure Business Mastery Podcast. If you enjoyed listening to this episode and you are ready to leverage video marketing on all online platforms, or maybe even start your own video podcast, then you need to check out the Done For You and Done With You program at themarketingvaadvantage.com and take your business to the next level.